Hello everyone. The WTC pack just came out the other day and this is it. This is my reaction video to it. I am going to show you a little bit of what's going on with the pack, and links will be in the description. So here is the pack itself. This is the IGE WTC 24 homepage. Link in the description. Um, So we have all the usual stuff here. We have the venue. The venue is again in Granada, Spain. Um, and it is on the, where do we have the dates? You can even buy the tickets here. Um, you buy tickets via your captain. Here we have the rules pack. The date is there. First to the 4th of February. Remember that they had planned this, and they're doing it, that there will be a singles tournament first, and then a doubles team tournament. Not a doubles, a team tournament. So it's a 2-day. That's the 4th and the 3rd. Teams of 4 players. Each team will play 6 games, so not 5, but 6 games against 6 different teams. And that's the first thing I want you to notice is there'll be no repeat matchups, so it can't be true Swiss if this actually holds up, because in true Swiss you sometimes end up playing the same team twice, which is really interesting. And 6 games, there are 6 missions, so I'm guessing that they'll use all 6. The official language of the event is English, of course. 1,000 points. 1 to 2 generic reinforced platoons, and you can use army selection, force selection, armor selectors, armies of books, including those in the campaign book. So all the units that says generic and armies of units are allowed, and there's a whole list of those here at the end of the document. Tank platoons and theaters are not allowed this time around. But with 1 to 2 generic reinforced platoons, you can do a lot of good stuff with that. 1,000 points is a little bit limiting. We had maybe expected it to go up a bit this time, but allowing 1 to 2 generic will still leave you with a lot of room to maneuver. Each team, as usually, submits 5 army lists, and then on the day, 4 of them are declared the ones that you're playing with. They each need to be from different nations. This is new as well. Before, you could actually submit 2 of the same nation, but that would give your hand away, like indicating that this is not what you're playing because you've got 2 British lists or whatever, right? But now the list submitted need to be from 5 different nations, so that is a small difference. Additional units from army books are allowed. Campaign books are allowed. No additional army PDFs, no characters, no war correspondence. Then there's something about WYSIWYG and painting, all of that. Army list submissions. We're not allowed to submit via Easy Army. I think this is okay because that will force more people to go and actually look at the books and the pack, which is where you should read it because Easy Army does have some mistakes. And there's an email for us to send it into. They have to be in by the 1st of December, so we have half a year before we need to send in our lists. That should be plenty. And there are stuff about penalties for submitting late. Missions. We played 6 different missions across the 2 days. These are detailed in the player pack. The duration is 2.5 hours. I'll go and show you the missions in a bit. We need to bring, there's a little bit about what you need to bring and how the scoring works. You do team scoring, so you win and lose as a team, which means that you count up how many wins did we have against this team, and then the team with the most wins have the round. I will show you that because we need to move to the player pack here. Right. Here's something about code of conduct and penalties, and here you can see the team scoring. So a team win means you get 3 points for the team. A team draw, if you got 2 draws, the enemy got 2 draws, or whatever, and you each get a win, then you get a draw. That's a 1 point, and if you lose, that's a 0 point. Um, this is actually the same as last time around, which last time around was really confusing because we were using Easy Army with it, and Easy Army didn't show where the teams were at in this system. So, for instance, Denmark, we ended up top 3 in Easy Army because we had many wins on our second day, but because we had losses on our first day, we simply couldn't catch up to the top teams. So that this is fine. This is really good. Then there's also rules for concessions. If you want to concede a game, you shouldn't. You should always play. You should fight for your team every bit of the way. And the way this tournament is set up means that you actually there is a reason to fight for your team because there are secondaries and tertiaries. Um, the secondaries are the kill points in each mission, how many units you take from your enemy. And the tertiaries is lieutenant kills and tank kills. So then there's a new matchup system. I am not particularly a fan of this because it takes away some of the tactics and some of the jobs of the captains, but it is what they've decided. It's basically a blind draw. You put down 4 lists and then you turn them over and the enemy has 4 lists and that's it. You figure out which one fights which one. So it's random draw. Now, the missions here, you can see, yeah, there are all the special rules here. We play meeting engagement. The only thing that's different for this to the rulebook is that it's 3+ dice in order to win. More than 3. 3 or more. 3+, yeah. And then there's key positions. This is pretty much out of the rulebook. No changes to that one. 3 inches from the center of an objective. Pretty standard. Then we have this one. This is a new one. Penetrating strike. This is more or less double envelopment. So you get points for ending up in the opponent's deployment zone. You can't actually leave the table, but you can outflank, which you can't do in double envelopment. So you can basically outflank half your army and then end up in the enemy's deployment zone. That's pretty cool. Of course, the enemy might expect you to come on, so. And you get points for also being in the neutral zone. So you have to move out of your own deployment zone towards the enemy's deployment zone. Then there's Heartbreak Ridge. We know this one. It's got sectors deployment and then 1 objective in each of your sectors and 1 in the center. The one in your own deployment zone is worth 1 point. The one in the center 5, and the one in the opponent's zone is 10 points. And you also get points for opponent units that you kill. So lots of things to keep track of in this one. Then we play sectors, very much as normal. Nothing there that's really weird. Yeah. Just clarification of when you're in a sector. Timely objectives, a little bit different from how I've seen it played before. In this version of timely objectives, forward deployment is not allowed. So you can't start on the objectives, which I think is actually kind of good because timely objectives, you get points for being on the objective at the end of each turn, which means that forward deployment armies really benefit from this. And you get 3 points for each objective that you control. Perfectly fine. I don't know why it needs to be 3 points. It doesn't really matter. And then there are the rules for army selections again, and penalties, blah. And here comes the list of all the, and this is the cool bit, right? All the allowed units that are not in the armies of book it's all in here. So you can go and see, and you can find out whether or not your specific units are in this list, which is really, really cool. So right, that's it. I'm looking forward to it. In less than a month now, the Danish teams are doing their qualification tournament. So I will have to pick a team, and then everybody will start work on building lists. Looking forward to seeing you all back at the WTC in Granada. It was an awesome place, awesome location, and I'm coming for the medals this time. Right. Cheers.